Again, as we read today's passage, sometimes some of the strength of the words is a bit disturbing, isn't it? So, chapter 13, verse 14, the Lord says, "I will allow no pity or compassion, no pity or mercy or compassion will keep me from destroying them." And then slightly later on in the chapter, he talks about how he's going to shame the people of Israel. He's going to basically lift their skirts over their faces so that they're exposed and everyone can have a good laugh at them and detest them. And that makes me, as we've said the last few days, makes me think, gosh, I feel a bit sorry for Israel. And so I found it really interesting that when I was reading chapter 12, Jeremiah questions God and he complains, but his question is not the same question that most of us ask when we read the Old Testament. Most of us ask the question, God, how can you do that? How can you punish people in the way that you're punishing them? How can you treat them in the way that you're treating them? Jeremiah's complaint in chapter 12 is, why does the way of the wicked prosper? Why do all the faithless live at ease? How come you're letting people get away with this stuff and you're not punishing them and you're not intervening? And what we have to remember is when Jeremiah is speaking, at that point, the nation of Judah had not had any of this horror visited on them in the way that Jeremiah is describing. So he's living among a people that are corrupt in all sorts of ways and nothing's being done about it. And actually, from when God began to prophesy this ultimate destruction to when it actually happened, it was a really, really long period of time from the first prophets announcing this sort of thing to it being fulfilled. And there were a lot of chances that God gave to the people of Israel. And so Jeremiah questions God, but it's the opposite question. It's how do you let people get away with this stuff? And actually, we ask that question as well. We ask the question when we see the hard stuff in the Old Testament, but then we ask this question when we see the hard stuff in the world around us. We see the way in which there's so much horrible things that happen in different parts of the country, horrible things that happen in different parts of the world, and also things that happen in our own lives, where we've personally experienced suffering, death, being bullied, being taken advantage of, being abused in some way. Usually my anger is directed at God. It's like, how can you let people treat me like this? And where we come back to and where we always land is that God is a God who will ultimately bring about justice. And if you're on the wrong side of that, then that's not a good thing. You don't want to be there. But ultimately, justice will prevail. And as followers of Jesus, we know that God brings about justice, not just in the Old Testament, but in the New Testament. And the punishment is the same. The punishment when you disobey God is death. It's just in the New Testament, God takes that death on himself. That's what the cross is all about. Such is his love for us that he takes it on himself. God is consistently a God of love and a God of justice. And he doesn't mind us asking our questions, but it's also worth listening to his response.